Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our daily gratitude call. Thank you for joining our call today. We've got several people on our call live, and I know there's also people listening on the podcast, and I just want to welcome all of you and encourage you to participate fully. If you are driving when you're listening to this podcast, I invite you to pull over, grab some paper, or get your phone out so you can take some notes. We're going to be doing a private silent meditation in just a moment, 90 seconds. And this 90-second meditation is an opportunity for us to state a subject and just be open to receive inspiration that's specifically for us on that particular subject. And today, I have selected, out of the things that were shared before we started recording, we always do some rounds of gratitude. And there were a couple things that came up in several different ways, all kind of pointed to this particular subject of rest. And so that's what we're going to focus our gratitude, or our private meditation on, and listening for inspiration on gratitude for rest. So I've got my timer set, 90 seconds, and we're just going to write down whatever comes to you on gratitude for rest. Begin. Right. There was a different, Robert, I'm really conscious of my ums now. One of our live callers is in Toastmasters. There went again, and I know he's like super aware of things, and he said, I'm not going to judge, I'm not going to give you any feedback, but it just made me super aware. I had the word rest in a different connotation come to me, like the rest of the story. And I also did think about resting at night. Last night, I had a little bit harder time going to sleep. My stomach was a little bit queasy. I had gone out to eat and ate something kind of heavier than I usually do. And when I got home, I just felt kind of overall just like heavy and, thick around my waist. And I didn't feel like doing anything, and I just felt like I needed to rest. And so I just got ready for bed, and it was still pretty early, but I got ready for bed, and I just read in bed for probably a couple of hours, and it felt good just to rest and just allow my stomach to kind of, relax and just to feel better. And so that kind of rest was really good last night. But I also was thinking about like the rest of the night. I rested at the beginning of the night, and then the rest of the night I was able to actually sleep because I had taken that time to rest. So just a couple different connotations of rest. Robert, you have something? I see, Robert, that your hand is raised. Did you have something that you wanted to share?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, no judgment call on ums and ahs.
I know. Thank you.
But that wasn't that wasn't the purpose of my raising my hand. What I'm grateful for with rest is it resets the mind and the body, which gives the opportunity to reset the spirit in our soul.
Oh, beautiful.
Draw us closer.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Who else has something to share?
I'll share something.
Thanks, Sybil.
I tend to be a pusher. I really like things to happen, and I like them to happen when I want them to happen. And this year, I've really been working on resting and allowing the Lord to do the rest. And I love that thought of resting in the Lord. And to me, that means you do what you can, you do what you're inspired to do, and then you rest and you trust God and you trust His timing, and you just trust the advice not to run faster than you have strength. And it's been a beautiful experience to feel supported in rest.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love that. Let the Lord do the rest. And yeah, that's super powerful. At the end of each one of my daily GPS planners, it's a 30-day planner. And so every 30 days, or usually ends up being about every 40 days, because I miss, a day here and there every once in a while, 35 to 40 days. But I will go through, and one of the exercises at the very end is to write down every inspired shortcut that you've had throughout the whole month. And you write those down, and it's so obvious to me now. It wasn't in the beginning, but it is now obvious to me how God is working for me and leading me down this beautiful path. And I love doing that because it actually reveals where the path is going. When I do this exercise at the end of my planner to, see where my inspired shortcuts are leading me, I can actually see what the next steps are and where it's actually leading. It's so cool. One of the things I've noticed as I look through these inspired shortcuts is every 7 days, my inspired shortcut is something like, it's just like just be, or something that is really connotative to rest. And so that just tells me that day of rest that He gives us every 7 days on Sunday, that is not just a principle, so that we can like worship Him or whatever, but it actually is a physical gift where we are letting the Lord do the rest. And He gives that to us as a gift, a day of rest. And it's so beneficial and needed. Who else?
I'll share this, Melinda.
Thanks, Melinda.
As I went camping with my family this last weekend, I felt exuberated and noticed that many miracles and understanding come after a season of focused dedication work, and then after that the fruits of our labors come. So kind of the concept of you reap what you sow, and the season to rest is a miracle and can be peaceful and rewarding. A moment that you have where everything you've worked on has a chance to settle, balance, and fall into place. And the thought I had, what came to my mind when writing that was those they've got to be really old games that it was a handheld game, and the little pieces were like in water, and you would push a button and all the pieces would float up, and then you let go and they just fall into their place. And so I just think about this season where it could be the week or a semester in school or anything like that, where everything just feels jumbled, and like you've pushed the button and towards the end everything just kind of falls into place, and you see what actually was created during that time, and you have a chance to step back and just be grateful for the opportunities or for the events that occurred.
Beautiful. I love that analogy, and of, that pushing that vibrator button and just everything's like in motion and you don't really know where it's going, and then just like turning off the button and letting everything just fall into place. What I know Sybil was talking about how she likes to push and make things happen and get things moving, and it is important for us to do that, to get things moving, but it's kind of like a flywheel or like a not a merry-go-round. Is that what they call them? Where the old things that kids would play on, they've kind of done away with most of them in the world now because they're kind of dangerous, but where it takes you like forever to get things moving, and then it's like spinning, and all you have to do is just like touch it every once in a while to keep it spinning. And I feel like that there is so much value in just, taking some action in the beginning based on inspired shortcuts is best. And then just letting God do the rest. Like Sybil was talking about, letting the Lord do the rest and letting things fall into place. Thanks, Melinda. Who else? I'll mention while you guys are, just kind of thinking if you want to share something else. I have a masterclass coming up next week, next Tuesday, the 28th, and I'm going to be posting more about that. I've been a little bit sporadic posting stuff this last month. For some reason, it just seems like it's not flowing as well as last month. But I do have some stuff in line to be posted every day until the master class. And that really describes kind of what I'm going to be sharing at that master class, because in business and the Lord's way, or the world's way to wealth, it's all about pushing. It's all about, get up in the morning, be the earliest one out there, early bird gets the worm. It's a survival of the fittest, and we need to go get our share and all of that. That's kind of the way typically people go into business and kind of keep their business running. But the Lord's way, there's like a certain path that feels right. And when you take God as your partner and you're asking every day what your inspired shortcuts are, it's just like led one step at a time. There's no worry about, whether somebody else is going to get theirs and I'm not going to get mine, because we're not even on their path. We're on a totally different path. We're on the Lord's way to wealth. And one of the things that I'm going to be sharing is how we just follow God's blueprint, and it makes life so much simpler, life and business so much simpler. And it's just like, just get up and do those few things that are yours to do, and let the Lord do the rest. Let the Lord inspire, let the Holy Ghost touch those people that you get to work with, and they are just automatically attracted to you. It's so easy. The way I'm doing my business now is like the easiest. I've been in business for 30 plus years, and I have never had my business life be so easy as it is right now. And that's what I'm going to be teaching next week. Did anybody else have something that they would like to share?
Eileen.
Yeah, Tammy.
Can I just share a thought that came to me just now while you were talking?
Yeah, sure.
So what came to me was that just the story of Christ in the Bible when he is talking to his apostles when they were out on the boat fishing, and they were not having much success finding fish, and he told them exactly where to place their net, and they did that, and they brought up thousands and thousands of fish. And that's the image that came to me as we were on the Lord's way. We're shown where the exact place that we need to go, and if we will follow, then we get amazing results.
Awesome. Thank you, Tammy. That is a perfect example of what I was just sharing. That's exactly the miracle that I've been experiencing on a daily basis because of the way that I have changed the way that I do business. I used to be, just so everybody knows, I graduated from college as an accountant, and I was super controlling. I mean, everybody that doesn't know me from way back when cannot even imagine this, but I was like the highest stress person you could imagine. So, I mean, 8 years ago, I had a stress-related heart attack. So that gives you an indication of the kind of person that I used to be. And life is so much easier now. Well, let's go ahead and shift over to our permission process. Thanks, everybody, for things that have been shared, and even can maybe add that last little tidbit of how important it is to rest just for our physical health. And stress doesn't really get us anywhere fast. We think because we have control that we're going to get there faster, but actually we kind of thwart God's efforts to orchestrate our lives for us when we do that. So it's hard to do sometimes when we have beliefs about needing to have control. But really, if we would just relax and let God be and do, it's the world is going to be a better place for us being able to perform at a higher capacity and being energized, and just always having enough energy and everything to do what we need to do because we're rested, and we're rested in the Lord. Go ahead and take a deep breath and just allow yourself to get into that state of rest, just allowing God to speak to you, allowing the perfect divine tutoring to be happening in this moment, and just listen for whatever God has for you. We've opened up a space for learning by allowing ourselves to just be patient and quiet and listen, just rest. And any new information that you're receiving from your Heavenly Father right now, just trust that and know that it's coming from a loving source. No judgment, just love. Just a desire for you to become the best that you can be. And what is the limiting belief that's showing up for you that would maybe be causing you to resist being in a rested state, or maybe resisting the information that you're receiving? What's your limiting belief? And with limiting beliefs, there always are costs associated with it. Whatever your limiting belief is, just be open to be shown what has this limiting belief been creating in your life already, and what it will continue to bring to you if you allow it to remain. And if you don't like the outcome that limiting belief has been producing, you can give yourself permission to choose a new belief. And so if you're ready to give yourself permission to choose a new belief, say yes.
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 Awesome. So what are those new beliefs? What are at least 2 or 3 new beliefs that are going to replace that old limiting belief? Something that will empower you, will allow you to rest in the Lord, that will allow you to give the reins over to the Lord and allow Him to do the rest after you have completed your part. What new beliefs will serve you in allowing your life, your business, everything that you do to be easy, simple, peaceful, and just allow good things to flow to you naturally? What are your new beliefs? And as you embrace these new beliefs, I invite you to really breathe them in and allow them to become part of your DNA. That these new beliefs are actually, just feel the difference in the way that your body feels. Instead of being high strung and like a racehorse that's about ready to break through the gate and see if you can get ahead of everyone else, instead of that kind of a feeling being in your body, just to allow these new beliefs to give you the peace of a racehorse that, yes, can go out there and create some amazing things out on the racetrack, but also that there's really a lot of benefits to going back to pasture and eating some good green grass and getting rubbed down and having just a nice cool shade to relax in. And as you are embracing these new beliefs and just feeling the value of rest, what is the inspired shortcut today? What is your inspired shortcut today? What is the one most important thing that you could do today that will allow you to embrace and benefit from the value of rest? In a moment, I'm going to open it up for some shares. I would like to also give an invitation out to anyone who's struggling with this at all to schedule a 15-minute call with me. If all you have to do is just go to askwylene.com, that is a link that goes directly to my calendar, and you can schedule a 15-minute call with me. askwylene.com. It's a free call to something that I offer for those who listen and participate in the gratitude call. Love you guys, and I just want to help you have the best experience possible in your lives, as I have been able to discover, and just want to use my experience to be able to help you kind of get through your struggles a little faster than you could do on your own. So askwylene.com if you're interested in having a conversation with me. Who has something they would like to share about their experience today?
I'll share something real quick.
Thanks.
On my refrigerator, I have a note that says, "Success means knowing at the end of the day our talents and abilities were used to serve others." And as I was thinking about, as we rest at the end of each day, and we can feel that success of knowing that we've done our part to further the work, whatever that is, whatever inspired actions we've taken. That was just really jumping out at me, because for so long I have questioned, what does success really mean? And I have this sitting up there, and we all have talents and abilities, but just the bit that was brought out today is at the end of the day, the time for rest and reflecting on what have I done to do my part with my talents and abilities to serve others.
Well, thank you. You know, I have had a habit of, I call it pouring out my heart at night and then letting him fill it up in the morning with my daily GPS, pouring out my heart in prayer, and then letting God fill up my heart in my daily GPS in the morning. And I feel like that has been really instrumental in allowing me to rest, is when I'm pouring out my heart at night, it's like I'm giving it all to God. And it's almost like you're saying, Kathy, that I've done my best. I've done everything that I can do. I've run like a racehorse today, or, you know, maybe sauntered like a, you know, whatever. Maybe I was taking a nice gentle stroll that day. But whatever it is, I've done my best. And to pour out my heart in prayer and give the rest of it to God and allow Him to do the rest. That's scriptural. That's what we're asked to do. That's what we're told to do. And it really does allow for the best rest at night to be able to do that. So thank you, Kathy. Who else?
Just going along with that, when David A. Bednar was the president of BYU Idaho, he taught one of my professors that when every day he would take a notebook with him throughout the day, and any challenges that he didn't immediately know how to solve, he would write it down. And if something didn't come up to address it throughout the day, he would take it to the Lord and hand it over to the Lord at night and go through that whole list. And then in the morning, he would write down any revelation or any ideas that came to him throughout the night in how to solve those things. And I always loved that idea.
Yeah, that's great. I have done that, not specifically like that, but I've definitely asked a question of the Lord, or I have something on my vision board that I have no idea how it's going to be accomplished. And I love taking that to the Lord and just saying, here you go, give me the answer. And not specifically in those words, but he always does. Just this past week, I received 2 answers to solutions to questions that I had no idea how it was going to be accomplished. And I just, like I say, when you live your life this way, it is so easy, and it just is so peaceful. I'm just so grateful we just see miracles every day. Thank you. Maybe 1 or 2 more shares.
There's something that I've tried to train myself in to combat what it comes natural to me, or used to come natural to me, right? Something that I'm trying to change, repent of, is being critical at the end of the day, not only with myself, but with my children. Like anything that's like, oh my gosh, all this stuff is still needing done, and we're going to bed with these things undone. And in the scriptures it says, well done, my good and faithful child. And it came to me that that's something that my children need to go to bed and rest their head on. Just knowing that, I love them, they did good. And so anytime I try to get critical with myself or with them that things are left undone, I just choose instead to say, well done, my good and faithful child. And they giggle at me now because, it sounds different, but I think it'd be also important to tell that to myself as I lay down my head at night, as well as doing what Kathy and you have suggested.
Beautiful. Thank you. What a wonderful practice to instill within your children. I had a call with someone, it was actually one of our 15-minute calls, and her judgment about herself was that she was not a good mom. And the thought came to me right in that moment. And I shared with her that when we take on a belief like that I'm not a good mom, basically what you're saying is, you children are not being good. Like, you are not good. I must not be a good mom because you're not acting the way that you should. And that's a judgment that we're putting on our children instead of a judgment on ourselves. And I just, it just brought such clarity to me about the ripple effect that happens when we put judgments on ourselves that are not even true. We can pour our hearts out to the Lord and just let him take care of the rest, do our best and let him do the rest. And it creates a ripple effect of love, just as you've described, Melinda. Thank you. Maybe 1 more share, if there's somebody else that would like to. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your thoughts. This has been a really good reminder, I think, for a lot of people, just the power of rest and the importance of rest and the other connotations of rest, letting God do the rest. And just encourage you all to accomplish your inspired shortcut today. I always tell people that's the one thing, that's the only thing that you need to do today. Everything else is just like frosting on the cake. This is the cake. This is the main course. This is the thing, the one thing that needs to be done. And if you only do that one thing, then you can lay your head down at night. You can give the rest to God, and hear him say, "Well done, my good and faithful child." So thank you all for being on the call today. Look forward to being back together tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. And encourage, if you have not joined our call live, to plan to do that. We would love to have you on here live and help us in this mastermind to create this awesome experience. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening, and I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. We'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.